Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Vinyasa class. I hope you enjoy the birdies, and I will apologize in advance for any other noises that may happen, although I am a big fan of thinking that all of those noises are just a good opportunity for us to practice letting life happen. So, just a note about tonight's class, and anytime if you do feel tired, please feel free to take a child's pose. Just come back to your comfortable seated position. The point of yoga is to look inward and to provide space and movement for meditation as well. So that is always a valid way to spend your class time. So with that said, let's all come to a child's pose. That's where we're going to start class tonight. So you can take the child's pose of your choice, keeping your knees close together, or by letting your big toes come to touch and allowing your knees to come out to the outer edges of the mat, sinking your hips back towards your heels, and just allowing your head to find the mat. Or if that's not available to you tonight, you might place your two hands on top of each other and just allow your head to rest on the backs of your hands. This can be a nice restorative child's pose as well. And just begin to find your breath here. And maybe begin slowly rotating your head from side to side, massaging your forehead, allowing any tension you may be holding in between your eyebrows to be massaged away by this gentle motion. And now allow that to come to stillness. Your hands are extended. We'll press into both palms here, allowing ourselves to rise up into a tabletop position. Remembering that you can always keep your hands nice and wide and the fingers, palms flat to the mat. Or your other option is to come to fists to preserve your wrists here. And so stacking the joints here, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips, we'll begin to move the hips into our familiar cat-cow shapes. Allowing the belly to relax and fill with air. And then pulling the belly button back towards the spine, rounding through the shoulders. Guiding the tailbone with the breath and the spine with the tailbone. Now bringing that to stillness, I'm going to bring the left hand palm up, threading it underneath the right arm, coming down to rest on the left shoulder. Here you can keep the right palm in front of the face, or if you like, you can extend that out long, allowing that left ear and left shoulder to rest on the mat. Continuing to tune into the breath here. And then if you have that hand extended, bringing that back in front of the face, inhaling as we press away from the mat. Come back to our neutral spine and tabletop, and then take that right hand, turning it palm up and threading it underneath the left arm. Extending that arm out if you like. Bring that left hand back in front of the face, inhaling to come up out of this position, finding our tabletop here briefly, and then allowing our hands to walk a couple of handprints out in front, turning the toes under in the back. We'll shift the hips up for downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the heels here, allowing the ears to remain in between the upper arms. Knees are nice and bent. And maybe introducing any other movements here that feel good for you. Maybe you'd like to stretch a little into a shoulder. Just finding something here that feels good. And then allowing that natural movement to let go. We'll inhale up to both toes. Exhaling as we bend the knees, rotating the hips up towards the ceiling. Inhaling here and then exhaling just to allow those heels to relax down towards the mat. Inhaling back up to the toes. Exhaling as we bend the knees. Belly comes towards the thighs, really pressing out of the mat here. And then exhaling, heels down towards the mat. Taking the gaze forward now, we'll walk gently up to the top of the mat. Coming into a forward fold here at the top of our mat. Relaxing into that fold. Allowing the crown of the head point down towards the floor, but still keeping those shoulders rolled up onto the back. So here with these shoulders up on the back, maybe your fingers reach the floor and maybe they don't. You can always bring them to the shins or the tops of the feet. If it feels good to walk the fingertips from side to side, you can invite that little motion in. If your lower back thinks it's okay, you can also take hold of those elbows with each hand, just allowing the body to ragdoll down over the legs. Imagining the spine becoming long from the tailbone all the way down through the crown of the head. We'll allow those fingertips to come back down to the floor. Here, planting the left fingertips or the left fist on the floor. We'll allow that left leg to bend as we extend through the right leg, opening up the right arm towards the ceiling here. And if that right leg doesn't come all the way straight, that's fine too. Just being where you are. The gaze can come up towards the ceiling or the hand, or if it feels better for the neck, you can bring that back down, that gaze back down to the left hand. Big inhale and then an exhale, allowing that hand to come back to the floor. We'll switch hands here, allowing that right fingertips or fist to find the floor, extending through the left leg, bending the right knee and opening the left arm towards the sky. Inhale here, and then exhale, bringing that hand down. We'll bring one hand over each bent knee here, pulling the belly button in as we rise up to stand with a flat back. Inhaling the arms up overhead, we'll bring the hands to meet each other. And exhale the hands down to heart center. And then coming into our sun salutation Bee today. From here, we'll inhale our arms up. Exhale as we come into our forward fold. Releasing the left leg back. Exhaling to release those hips forward. Planting both hands, stepping back with the right foot. We'll shift back into our downward facing dog. Inhaling the right leg up. Exhaling to inhaling the left leg up. Exhaling to bring the left leg forward. Finding our stability here, pulling that belly button in, and then rising up to our high lunge. Inhaling the arms up overhead. And then if you like, you can stay here or you can exhale those arms to heart center. We're going to bring the outside of the left elbow. I cannot get right and left tonight. I'm so sorry. This is actually my right elbow. We'll bring the right elbow to the top of the left thigh, coming into a twist here. And if you like, you can open the arms. Exhaling to bring those hands back to heart center. We'll allow the fingertips to find the floor. We'll rotate the heel down to the floor here, and then we'll windmill ourselves up, coming up to Warrior Two. Finding our Warrior Two. Left heel bisecting that arch of the right foot. Shoulders are on the back. And then when you're ready, allowing that left elbow to find the left leg. Hand extends up overhead, gaze coming forward, coming into our side angle. And you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to introduce a little bit more of a side body stretch, you can windmill that upper arm up over the ear, extending out long through the fingers, finding that nice line from the tips of the fingers all the way down the side body. And then when you're ready, bringing that top hand around and down, windmilling back around, bringing both hands to frame this left foot. Left foot comes back, taking yourself through your vinyasa here if you like, or taking a moment to join me here in plank. And if you like to introduce an upward facing dog and your back is ready for that, you can bring that into the practice now. And then when you're ready, shift back into your downward dog. From here, we'll inhale up through the left leg, exhaling to bring the left leg towards the opposite elbow. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhale to bring the left leg forward. Back into our left lunge. Sinking through the hips here. Right leg comes forward. Exhale over the legs. And then inhale up to stand with a flat back. Hands come to heart center. Taking a moment here to tune in with the breath. And then inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling back into the fold. This time, Stepping back with the left leg. Exhaling to look forward. We're going to keep this high lunge here. Inhaling up to our high lunge. Healing back through that right hip. Forward through the left. And when you have your stability, inhaling the arms up overhead. Welcome to stay here if you like. Or you can bring those hands to heart center, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Opening up the arms if you like. And remembering the gentle version of this twist is to bring one hand to the hip and one hand to the outside of the knee. So always choosing where you need to be today. Bringing that arm down, coming back to heart center. Plant the hands on the floor will allow that left heel to pivot. Inhaling up to warrior two on the side. Looking for that right angle of the knee over the ankle here. Maybe turning the palms up towards the sky. Bringing the shoulders onto the back. Allowing just the hands to turn. And then allowing that elbow to find the knee. Come to the other side. Hand extending up straight here. And then if you like, allowing that arm to windmill up over the ear, extending out long through that side body. And bringing that arm down and around. We'll frame this right foot. Planting both hands, stepping back into plank. Coming through your vinyasa, or staying here with me in plank or half plank. And then when you've come through your vinyasa, shifting back into your downward facing dog. We'll inhale up through the right leg this time. Exhaling to bring right knee to opposite elbow. Inhaling up through the right leg. Exhale to bring the right leg through. Sinking down through the hips. Stepping the left leg forward. Exhaling into the fold. And then inhaling up to stand with a flat back. Bringing the hands to heart center. Closing the eyes. Bringing the focus back to the breath. That Ujjayi breath. 3 nice deep breaths here. Good. Letting that go. Back at the top of the mat. Inhaling the arms up overhead. We'll exhale as we shift the hips back, keeping the ears in between the upper arms or allowing the hands to come down forward, whatever feels best for you. Inhaling here, and as we exhale, bringing the hands to heart center, we'll bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, coming into a prayer twist. We're coming into a different variation if this works better for you. Holding it here for 3 breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling back to center. Exhale to release over the legs. We'll allow the feet to walk out to the edges of the mat. We'll take the hands underneath the feet here, fingers underneath the knees. Sorry, those are not knees, they're feet. And then pulling up slightly through the back. Stretching through the back of the shoulder here. And allowing that to release. Bringing the fingertips to the mat. We'll heel toe, those feet back in towards the middle of the mat. And then when you're ready from here, inhaling back up to chair. Finding your variation here. Pulling that belly button in. Exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. And then taking that right elbow outside of the left knee. Or coming into your other variation. Finding the breath. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to release over the legs. This time we'll take those peace fingers, if you can, wrapping them underneath the big toes. If you can't reach under the big toes, just holding onto the ankles or the tops of the feet here. And just to gently allowing yourself to help guide yourself down long over the legs here by providing a little pull with the hands or fingers. And then we'll allow that to release. We'll plant both hands on the mat here, stepping the feet back and shifting back into downward dog. And if it feels good, again, to pedal the feet out a little, you're welcome to do that. Shifting forward now, we'll allow the knees to find the floor. With those hands, a couple of handprints in front of us, we're just going to take our elbows and allow our elbows to drop where our hands are. We're shifting into Dolphin Pose here. So you have a couple of options. You can interlace the fingers if you like, or you can lay the hands palm down with the fingers wide, pulling back slightly against the palms here. Stacking those elbows right underneath the shoulders. Roll the toes under, shifting back into our downward facing dog sort of shape here, but on the forearms. Allowing those hips to rotate up towards the ceiling. Heels relax down towards the mat. If they don't touch, that's fine. And then bringing the knees to the mat here, we'll allow ourselves to shift the hips back into the downward facing dog of your choice. Child's pose of your choice. This is a child's pose, not a downward facing dog. Pressing the palms into the mat here, pulling the belly button in. We'll shift forward for one more dolphin pose. So bringing those elbows down to the mat, interlacing the fingers or not. Turning the toes under here, shifting the hips up towards the sky. And then if you'd like to add a little strengthening for the shoulder here, certainly not required. You can stay right here. But if you'd like, you can begin walking the toes up towards the face here. The head will come close to the hands here, maybe making a little basket with the fingers. Abs are engaged. And then allow that to walk back gently, dropping back to the knees and dropping back into child's pose. If it feels good for you here, you can bring the hands back around to the sides of the body, allowing the shoulders to relax and round down towards the mat. Couple of deep breaths. And now shifting the hands back out in front. Inhale ourselves back up to coming into our tabletop pose. Taking another couple of cat-cows here to release the spine. And then allowing the feet to shift over to one side. We'll bring the hips back, coming into a comfortable seat. You can be seated in the center of your mat or at the back of your mat, wherever you like. We'll bring the soles of the feet to meet here, coming into our Vatakanasana. Shoulders are on the back. Sitting up nice and straight. Remembering that if there's a lot of distance between the floor and your leg here, it's very uncomfortable for you. You can always put blocks or blankets underneath your legs here. If it feels good and it's available to you tonight, you can release forward slightly, keeping the neck in alignment with the spine. Allowing the chest to come forward over the legs. And then inhaling up to release. We use our hands to help ourselves close the legs. Shifting around onto the back. Pulling the knees into the chest here, rolling out through that lower back just a little. Bringing the knees tightly into the chest here. We'll open the arms out wide, allowing the palms to face up to bring the shoulders underneath the back. And then just allow those knees to fall over to the left side. If you like here and it feels good for you, extending through that left top leg, maybe even grasping that left toe with the right fingertips, shifting the gaze. Left, right, I don't know. Left and right are not with me today, but top leg, grasp with your fingertips. Look over the other shoulder. And then allowing that to release. Bending both legs, bringing them back into the chest. And then releasing over to the other side. Maybe extending that top leg, grasping it with the fingers, looking out over the opposite shoulder. Bending both legs, bringing the knees back to the chest. Bring the hands to the shins here, really hugging the knees into the chest here, and then allowing the knees to separate, pulling the knees back towards the armpits, allowing the shoulders and neck to remain relaxed here. And then releasing the shins, holding on underneath the knees here, and again, repeating that motion, bringing the knees towards the armpits. Maybe allowing the feet to come up towards the ceiling here. Keeping that motion of knees into armpits, reaching up for the shins or the ankles. Pulling back. Neck and shoulders are relaxed here. realizing that we're finding our way one step at a time into happy baby. So from here, releasing the shins or ankles and bringing yourself into your own favorite version of happy baby. Maybe finding some movement here. And then allowing that to find stillness. Bringing the soles of the feet to touch. Using our hands to gently help ourselves extend out long. Bringing the shoulders underneath the back. Bringing our attention inside now. Feeling the wave of life-giving oxygen washing up from our belly to our chest and back out again. An effortless, rhythmic wave. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Inhale your arms up over your head, stretching out fingers, toes, and then rolling to one side. And then when you're ready, pressing yourself back up to a seated position. Maybe keeping your eyes closed or just keeping your gaze lowered. Thank you, as always, for sharing your practice with me. May your yoga follow you off.